Good evening and welcome. I am Uyai Anyakan, come to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. This is Spotlight Africa, brought to you by Spectrum Television and Planet Radio, bringing you stories from around the continent. Today on Spotlight Africa, BRICS invites 6 countries to join its club. United Kingdom demands immediate release of ousted Niger leader Bazoum. Kenyan Anti-Corruption Agency arrests ex-governor. European Union launches humanitarian air brigade for DR Congo. Plus, Mozambican medics suspend strike but issue warning. These stories are all just ahead on Spotlight Africa. Do stay with us.
For your desired return on investment and so much more, advertise on Spectrum Television, on StarTimes DTH Channel 421 and on free-to-air with a frequency of 12733. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.
Thanks for staying tuned, and now to the rest of the news stories. In Uganda, the organizers of a controversial public lecture meant to memorialize dictator Idi Amin say they plan to go on with the event, according to Uganda's privately owned Daily Monitor. Caps Fugaro Hassan, the spokesperson of the group, told local media that the lecture is part of an initiative meant to rewrite the narrative about Amin in order to depict his legacy in a way that they view as fair and accurate. Hassan said that Amin's legacy has been misrepresented to make him a villain by accusing him of wrongs he did not commit and erasing his contributions to Uganda and Africa from history. Hassan said that the group wants Amin to be remembered for aiding the independence movements of southern African countries like South Africa, Namibia and Angola when he chaired the African Union. Amin is infamously remembered as a brutal dictator whom the acclaimed 2006 Hollywood film Last King of Scotland is based on. Back to Nigeria, where rescue efforts are ongoing in the capital after a 2-story building collapsed overnight. Emergency services say they have pulled 35 people alive out of the rubble in the Garaki part of Abuja. 2 others were found dead. Abba Idris, the head of the Abuja Emergency Relief Agency, told newsmen that those rescued had been taken to hospital. Reports say the building was used for residential and commercial purposes and that it was not immediately clear what caused the collapse. There were heavy rains overnight accompanied by strong winds which continued till dawn today. Garki is in the heart of Abuja and many of its buildings were part of those first constructed in the new city which began being built in the early 1980s. Away from that, Mozambican doctors and other health workers have suspended a strike that has been going on for more than a month and paralyzed public health services. It comes hours after President Filipe Nyusi appealed to the health professionals to resume work to safeguard the health of Mozambicans. He said the strike had caused a lot of suffering and contributed to a reduction in productivity. The chairman of the country's medical association, Milton Tatia, said the creation of a new negotiation team led by Prime Minister Adriano Maliani had made them decide to return to work. However, he said they would resume the strike in October if there is no progress in the negotiations. The health workers have been demanding better wages and working conditions. They have also raised concerns about inadequate food for patients, lack of medicine and equipment in some hospitals. Meanwhile, the strike, which began on the 10th of July, involved more than 2,000 health professionals from across the country. Elsewhere, the army says 2 senior jihadist leaders have been killed in joint operations with regional forces in Mozambique's northern Cabo Delgado province. Now, according to the army in a statement, one of them was Abu Kital, who held the position of deputy commander of the operations of the group Aluhusuna, while Jama's ASWJ. The other was Ali Mahandro, who also held a senior position in the group. Meanwhile, Mozambique's army and allied forces, including Rwandan troops and the military mission from Southern Africa's regional bloc SADC, have been conducting operations in the jihadist-hit province. Mozambique has been battling an Islamic State group-linked insurgency since October. Reports say more than 1 million people have been forced to flee their homes, with more than 4,000 others killed over the period.